I bet on myself. Yeah, I bet on myself.
Yeah, I bet on myself. Yeah, I bet on myself. I don't need you, I do it myself.
Welcome back, J2 fam. I'm your host, Jeremiah.
And I'm also Jeremiah.
Today we have with us today from Benendorf, Iowa. He was a former All-America standout who played at Iowa State and Augustana, and he also played in the AFL and is now one of the best defensive minds in college football. He has coached at many places, including Miami of Ohio and Texas Southern, and currently the head coach for Pittsburg State Gorillas. Welcome, Coach Tom Anthony.
Appreciate it. Hey. Appreciate y'all for having me, man. Thanks for coming out.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for having us. So, like you said, you have all these accolades and stats that you have accomplished. But our first question that we always like to ask is, what are you like off the field?
Oh, man. Well, I think that changes year to year, you know, as your kids. We have a 13-year-old and an 11-year-old, and, man, as they start to grow and get older, man, that kind of changes your path off the field. So, you know, probably the last 3-4 years, man, just when I'm not coaching football here at the facility, I'll just kind of dive into my kids and their sports and what they're doing. Whatever their interests are become my interests, and my wife and I just kind of dive into their lives right now, and we love watching them play sports and compete, and just really kind of pour into them off the field.
Right. You got girls or boys?
So our daughter's in 8th grade. She's kind of fell in love with track.
Nice.
So she did some AAU track stuff last summer, qualified for the Junior Olympics in the 400. So we spent a weekend right before fall camp, went down to Houston, Texas, and watched her kind of run down there. And then our son's in 5th grade, he's 11, and all year round, football to basketball to baseball. So it keeps us busy all year round for sure.
Yeah, we actually, I did the Junior Olympics, and that was always our family vacation for the year.
Yeah, no, she loves it, man. I think they're up in Iowa this summer at Drake University. So she's been grinding, man. She's been working hard, getting ready.
Well, tell us, how did you get into coaching? Because I see here that you received your bachelor's degree in political science. Like, how you go from like political science to like coaching?
Yeah.
Like, did you want to enter politics at first?
No. Yeah, I was one of those guys. I went to college knowing I wanted to play sports and just needed to get a degree. Right. And political science was kind of history always interested me when I was growing up. So I kind of went that path in college to kind of the history into just learning about government and how it functions and works. That kind of piqued an interest to me, and so that's what I got my major in. But I knew right away I wanted to coach. I mean, so many coaches, I think, impacted my life when I was younger, and wanted to try to have that same impact on young people. And knew right away, just going through college, that I wanted to be a coach. Wasn't sure if it was going to be high school or college, and then just kind of fell into the college world and fell in love with it, and have been doing it now for a little over 20 years.
So what was your first opportunity as a coach? Talk about the experience.
Yeah, so I got done playing, and then spent a little time in the Arena League, but in the off season came back and helped out at Augustana College where I'd played, and just kind of went back that fall, and just right away, the place is special, man. A lot of people impacted my life and changed me, and just dove into it right away. And my college coach, Jim Barnes, helped me get a graduate assistant job at the University of St. Francis in Chicago, and fell in love with it, man, and I've been doing it ever since.
So obviously before you coach, you were a player. Could you talk about your time at Iowa State and Augustana?
Yeah, so I went to Iowa State out of high school. Like a lot of kids, man, had dreams and aspirations of playing at the Division I level. Realized right away my services would probably be better utilized at a smaller school. And then just transferred to Augustana College, close to home. Had a great experience there, and had a lot of good football teams, a lot of great coaches, and just kind of, that's kind of how my path went. And there's a lot of opportunities out there for football players. I think a lot of kids don't realize that, and especially with what you guys do, just bringing light to maybe those non-Division I schools that have resources, have the facilities to help guys, achieve their dreams. And so was very blessed, just the path I took and where it's brought me today.
Right. Yeah, I seen that you played receiver and DB. Yeah. Which one did you lean more towards, and like how did you get on the defensive side when you came to coaching? Yeah.
So when I went back to Augustana College, played wide receiver early on, and then we kind of moved offensively to more of an option attack. So there wasn't a lot of opportunities for a wide receiver in an offense like that. But but went to our coach, like, Coach, man, like, I want to help out anywhere I can. Like, if that's on the defensive side, so be it. So my last 2 years, I kind of ended up playing both ways. So played defense primarily, but then when there were opportunities to throw the ball when we needed to, I'd play some offense as well. So played both ways in high school, and so it kind of translated easily for me at the college level.
So I see you coached as a defensive coordinator for Texas Southern University. This is from 2016 to 2018. During that time, you guys tied for interceptions in 2018. Could you just talk about that defense and some of the experiences that you learned there?
Yeah, I mean, it was such a cool experience for me, having an opportunity to go work in the HBCU, and take my family down there. Met so many phenomenal people. I had some really good football players there, man. I always tell people this, like, coaches can coach and scheme all they want, but if you don't have good football players, like, it doesn't matter. And that's what makes the recruiting piece so important. You got to recruit really good football players that are really good people that are going to help you have success as a coach. And so we were fortunate to have a good run down there on defense for those 3 years. And again, worked for a phenomenal head coach in Mike Haywood. Who's, that's also who I work for at Miami of Ohio. So being able to work with him and have that experience was awesome for us and our family.
Okay. So keeping in mind the defense. So in 2021, you guys led the MIAA in interceptions with 14 and ranked second in scoring defense. And then in 2022, you guys led the MIAA in scoring defense with 14.1 points per game and ranked second in total defense. What goes into building a good defense, and how have you been able to be so successful? Yeah,
I think just a mindset. I mean, you just got to me, that's what defense in football is, man. It's a mindset, and you have to be able to have your players buy into that approach. And so we were really blessed when we got here in December of 2019. Credit to Coach Beck and the previous staff who had recruited some really good football players to be here. So we were fortunate enough to have a really good group on defense that kind of bought into what we were trying to do. And then you saw this really good run we had from 19 kind of through now, being one of the top defenses in the conference, for the last 5 years and even in the country. So very fortunate, again, to have good players, right? You have really good players if you want to be good on offense, defense, or special teams. So for us to have those good players already in the program and then to kind of channel that mindset to where we wanted it to be, and they bought into that from the jump. And again, that's what's helped us have some success on that side of the football.
It seems like everywhere you've been, like, your defenses was top in, like, turnovers and things like that. So, like, how do you instill that into your guys, and, like, how do you preach that to them?
Yeah, I mean, that's our number one thing on defense. Like, I always tell people, man, you can have a goal, a scoring defense goal, but, man, ultimately it's about taking the football back. If the other team doesn't have the football, they can't score points. So that's always going to be a forefront of our program. Offensively, you got to hang on to the football. Defensively and on special teams, we got to take the football away. And last season, we were very, very fortunate and blessed. We had one of the top turnover margins in the conference. Our offense took care of the football at a high level, and our defense took it away at a high level. So that's always going to be, a mindset of any defense I'm around is, man, like, it's all about the ball. And that's kind of what we talk about every day in our program, taking care of it on offense and taking it away on defense.
For sure. So in your debut year as head coach, you were able to secure a playoff berth. Was that a big accomplishment for you, or was that something that you expected to do going into the year?
I mean, obviously, those things are great, man. Like, being able to play in the postseason, that's what it's all about at any level. Like, your goal ultimately is to get to the postseason, because once you get there, anything can happen and anybody can win. So that's always going to be an ultimate goal of ours at Pitt State. I mean, we don't shy away from that, is to win a national title. Can't do that if you don't make the postseason. So obviously, playing the MIAA schedule year to year, every week's a playoff game. I mean, the MIAA is a bear, and there's phenomenal coaches at every school in this league. Everyone has talent. So to get through the MIAA schedule and be able to make the postseason each year is a pretty big accomplishment and a big goal. So super proud of our players and our staff, in those last couple of years and what we've been able to do.
Yeah. Talk about that time under Coach Brian Wright, when from 2020 to 2022, where y'all went on the 21-7 run and MIAA title, and then also the NCAA Division II playoff appearances in 2022. Yeah,
B-Dub's a dear friend of mine. I mean, we coached together at Youngstown State back in 2008 and 2009, so that's how Brian and I got to know each other. Man, like, my wife and I were first married. We didn't have kids. We used to babysit Coach Wright's kids at Youngstown State, and then when we came here, his kids were older, and then his daughter Marielle was babysitting our kids. So, Brian and Laura and their family are very close to us, and being able to learn under him, learn like different leadership qualities he had, how he ran a program was great for me to learn. So when I took over as head coach, was able to carry some of that with me, but then also be able to put my own twist on a couple of things. But B-Dubs, man, he's a rock star, a dear friend of mine, and he's a heck of a football coach.
So with last year's playoff berth, you guys have made the playoffs 4 consecutive times. So obviously that shows a lot of success within the program. Can you just speak to the culture that's been set here at Pitt State?
Yeah, Devin. I mean, culture is a huge part of it. People always ask you to define your culture, and to me, there's no exact definition of culture. Your culture is the bare minimum of what you allow, right? So we have certain standards every day, and if we allow any of those standards to slip, well, that's the culture we're now creating. So being able to get our players to buy into that mindset, hey, man, like here's how we do things, and if we do them at a high level, that's our culture. If we let things slip and we don't do them at a high level, that's our culture. So being able to just, again, instill that mindset each and every day. And man, Pitt State's a special place. It was special long before I got here. It's been special in the time I've been here, and as long as they're going to have me as head coach, it's going to continue to be special, but it's going to be special long after I'm gone as well. And that's because of the people here. I mean, the people in this community, the resources that they pour into not just football, but Pitt State athletics. I mean, you all saw that walking around seeing it's not just the football facilities, man. It's everything pouring into the university, just how the community rallies around Pittsburg State. That's what makes, this place so special.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there's no question that you guys know how to win. Like, you guys build a consistent winner here. But what do you feel like y'all guys need to do to take that next step in order to beat the Hardens and things?
Yeah,
like
definitely.
that?
I mean, just talent. That's our goal every year. I mean, we tell our players, we have an end of the year meeting every year, and I mean, the first thing I say is, hey guys, it's our job to go out and out recruit you, right? It's your job to not get out recruited. So our goal every year as a coaching staff is to go out and recruit a higher level of talent than we recruited the year before, and then the guys in the program, it's your job to make sure you don't get out recruited, and that creates competition within the program, but that's also going to elevate your program as well from a talent standpoint.
Right. Earlier you was talking about how Coach Brian Wright, how just he was just there for you, like a role model, and also how you took some leadership qualities from him. Just talk about we have a lot of coaches that talk about on the podcast of being around good people that's going to invest in you and build you up and things like that. So just talk about some of the people that was there for you to do that and how important that is for you. Yeah,
I mean, to me, that's what makes this profession so special, man, is, you hear a lot of horror stories sometimes about guys that don't work for good people. I was so blessed and so fortunate early in my career to work for just amazing men, amazing family men. Never worked for a bad dude ever in my life. From St. Francis, Mike Uramovich, who's the head coach at Ball State now, then to Youngstown State, worked for John Haycock, who was the defensive coordinator at Iowa State for the last decade with Matt Campbell, just retired. Then to Texas Southern, Miami of Ohio with Mike Haywood, Western Illinois with Jared Elliott, who I GA'd with, who's now out at New Mexico. Man, I've been so fortunate, so blessed to work for just great men, and have tried to kind of emulate a lot of that, right? And then hire like-minded people. Try to surround our program with husbands, fathers, guys that, coaching football is what we do. It's not who we are. And try to bring people into our program that have that mindset. Because at the end of the day, man, it's all about the people you work with, the people within your organization. That's what's going to help it thrive.
For sure. You talked about surrounding yourself with good people. Obviously, when you surround yourself with good people, that usually rubs off on you. What are some of your pillars of your foundation that have built you as a person?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing for me is family. I was fortunate and blessed to have a phenomenal mother and father in my life that raised me the right way, instilled those qualities in me, like hard work, discipline, integrity, doing things the right way. Integrity is doing things the right way when no one's looking, right? And so, very fortunate to come from a great home with a great mom, a great dad, 2 brothers that pushed me, held me accountable. and continue to do so to this day. So to me, like, family is the biggest thing to me. Obviously, faith is a huge part of my life. A huge part of what I do and how I try to operate on a day-to-day basis, and try to carry all that, within our program as well, and instill that with our kids.
Right. We was talking about last year and how you guys went to playoffs and things like that. Obviously, you guys got some guys leaving, some big guys leaving, and then also some guys staying as well. So just talk about some of the key guys y'all have returning, and then also maybe some portal guys that y'all maybe picked up along the way.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, to me, our program, and I challenge our coaches with this, we live in such this there's very weird era right now in college athletics with transfer portal and NIL money and all that stuff, man. We're in a really good spot right now at our level where I think we have enough resources here in place at Pitt State. We can go out and recruit elite level high school kids right now. And that's our goal. We want to recruit elite high school kids, develop them, and we want to retain them within our program. We don't have to be a place that lives and dives into the transfer portal. We're going to look at it. We're going to take a couple guys out of it every year. Elijah Randall's a cornerback from Winona State that we took in this transfer class. He's going to be a good player for us. Andrew Link is another one, a defensive lineman from Missouri State. Louis Jones was a kid that we got from UCO. We'd recruited Louis out of high school a year ago, went to UCO, and was looking for a different experience, and now he's back with us. So that's kind of how we dove into that transfer portal this year. So returning key returners we have coming back: Austin Schmidt, MIAA Special Teams Player of the Year; Karan Parchment, First Team All-Conference wide receiver; ZPG, First Team All-Conference running back; a couple starting O-linemen. Defensively, have a couple defensive ends coming back, young guys that were good players for us. A couple defensive backs that got a lot of time for us last year as well. Blake Carr, redshirt freshman, started every game for us at will linebacker. So a lot of talent coming back that we're excited about.
Yeah, I saw that in the meeting that you guys had 39 signees. And I also saw that you had recruits from 8 different states. Can you just talk about the pride you take in being able to recruit people from so many different areas, especially as a D2?
Definitely. I mean, I think one of the cool things at Pitt State is we actually get 38 states to get in-state tuition here. So that allows us to expand our umbrella of where we recruit. Now, we're still going to be primarily, we kind of have a 6-hour radius around Pittsburg, Kansas. You talk about Kansas City, Southwest Missouri, St. Louis, Northwest Arkansas, the whole state of Oklahoma, and then really we dip down pretty hard into the DFW area as well. So,
yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, those are all DFW has been pretty good to us, man. All those areas have. Obviously, then we want to keep the local talent here as well, locally each year. So we kind of draw a 6-hour circle around Pittsburg, Kansas, and that's where we're going to pull the vast majority of our kids.
For sure. Well, as we're nearing the end of the interview, I just want to ask you a question that we always ask coaches like yourself. So obviously you've seen success. What are some words of advice you can give to younger coaches in the coaching game that are just trying to get their feet wet?
Yeah, I mean, be where your feet are. I mean, I think that's one of the bad parts a little bit about coaching is a lot of times you find guys are always looking for the next thing, right, or the next biggest. Man, be where your feet are, pour into that place. And if you do that, that place is going to pour back into you, and it's going to be so much more rewarding for you. Obviously as a young coach, my mindset was you're always chasing something. But man, when I got to the point 10 years ago of, I just want to pour into the place I'm at, it's so much more rewarding as a coach when you do that, because that place starts to pour back into you. Obviously when you start to have kids, moving and chasing the next thing gets a little tougher. So man, find a really good place with really good people, and to me that's all that matters. So I guess that's my advice. Be where your feet are.
Right. I got a couple more questions for you. To all your incoming freshmen, all your transfers, the fans, and all that stuff. What's the message for next year? What can they expect?
Yeah, own it. That's kind of our. I always get with our leadership council every year to come up with our motto for the following year. And this year they came up with own it, man. Own the wins, own the losses. When you show up at the facility every morning, own it, man. Own that work that's about to start to happen. Pour into that. We get this really finite, amount of hours each week where we, can dive into the football stuff, and we got to take advantage of every last second, that we're in the weight room, on the field, in the meeting rooms. Own it, man. Own everything we have, and we want to win the national title here, so we got to own that, and there's a lot that goes into that.
For sure. Then my last question for you. I see that you've been able to send 4 players to the league. I just want to know, what's that feeling like when you find out that one of these players that you coach is able to chase their dream to the next level?
It's so rewarding, right? I mean, kids come here with so many dreams and aspirations on and off the field, and that's part of our job as coaches, is to help them find find avenues to achieve those dreams. And if your dream or aspiration is to play at the next level, we have everything. We have all the resources here to help you do that. Now, it's a two-way street. You got to pour into it just as much. But when you see those kids, Dallas Flowers and Rico Payton, we have a couple guys this year that are going to have a shot. Some other guys I've coached at previous stops. It's really cool, man. When you turn NFL games on Sunday and you see that guy running around, you see, hey, Pitt State, man, that's pretty cool to be able to see those guys and achieve at the highest level.
Yeah, I got one more question for you before we let you go. We know you got to head out, but this is a question that we ask all coaches who's on. With recruiting and things like that, you've been able to see like all the different states and things like that. You already know we're just going to. What's the best state to recruit from?
Well, I'm from Iowa, so I mean, man, like I say this, that there's so many good, and this is a true statement. I think there's so many good high school coaches around this country that develop kids at such a high level. There's so many areas that thrive with elite athletes. Obviously, when you get to the bigger populated areas, there's going to be more of a pool to choose from, like DFW, Kansas City, Tulsa, St. Louis, Missouri. So to me, I don't know if there's a best state or not. You go down to our locker room every day and there's going to be arguments about that, But to me, man, we just try to find really, really good high school programs that develop kids at a high level. And we've had some really, really good football players from the DFW area, from the Kansas City area, Tulsa, Oklahoma City, and then right here locally as well. I mean, you talking about smaller town Kansas kids. I mean, one of our best offensive players that we have coming back next year is Luke Nigeman from Girard, Kansas, which is a 3A Kansas high school right up the road. But then you also have guys from Jordan Rogers from down in Waco, Texas, right? I mean, there's great football players all over the country, and then that's our job as coaches, is to go out and find them. So I don't know if there's an exact state. I just know we're blessed to have a lot of really good football players from a lot of different areas, and a testament, to the high school coaches that develop those guys.
Yeah, that's a great answer. We was arguing about that in the car. But we appreciate you for coming on, Coach.
Yeah, appreciate y'all for coming out today, man. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yes, sir. Make sure you guys tune in. Check out the rest of the videos. Make sure y'all check out the Pitt State tour. You don't want to miss it.
Yeah, we'll have a lot of content coming from this tour, so make sure y'all tune in. Make sure you turn on your likes and subscribe.
I bet on myself. Okay, dream so big that they think I'm crazy. Let out the beast, no, they can't tame me. Don't play with me, better mind your business. I cannot stop now, I ain't finished. I'ma keep on going till I got that. Okay, the way that I'ma do it, they can't top that. No way. Critics trying to hate, but I don't talk back, I know that. Plotting on the kid with the bull, tell them all that. I'm the one that I'ma gamble on, I ramble on. I'm about to get my ramble on, and I'm the one they really couldn't get a handle on. Then when they see they missed the boy, they get a